I would just like to start off by saying if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it a lot if you went over and followed my Twitch, links in the description. Now, let's get into it. Today we were just going to go over some strats that can be used on split when playing Brimstone. These are mostly for the beginning of the round, but they can be used at any time. Obviously, there's a million different ways to play every situation, but these are just a few that I do that work. First, you will see the strat in a private match, then in some cases I pulled out clips from my games where I actually use it. For some background, Brim is a controller, and as such, he should be played to manipulate where the enemy team can go. Using his smokes, molly, and stim beacon, he is able to block parts of the map and make it harder for the enemy team to go where they want to. The first setup you're going to see is going to be defender side on split in A heaven and ramp. Here I'm going to smoke off a lobby to try to slow the push, and then I will peek ramp to put down a molly right on top of the smoke. Be careful when peeking because sometimes the enemy team will push out quickly and there's a chance you can take some damage. If this is the case, I would still recommend trying to get the molly out to catch any teammates that don't push as hard. You can see in this clip that even though I got smoked off ramp, I still sent the molly and it ended up getting me a kill. Since Brim doesn't have many aggressive abilities, I would recommend taking a more defensive position when using this strat. I do this by backing into heaven so I have better cover until I feel comfortable with where the enemies are. I then push back out where I get the pick on Reyna. This is what it looks like for the enemy. This next strat is very similar to the first, but this time I do it slightly closer. I use this if the other team is being super aggressive and pushing consistently. Again, put the molly down to try to catch anyone who wants to push through the smoke. The next strat starts in screens or elbow. You can smoke off a lobby like before, but this time you have a further angle to peek. This is best played with an op, as you'll see in the clips. Also, it's a lot safer to make sure you have a teammate in heaven to make sure the enemy can't peek you from an off angle. Having a teammate in heaven also gives you a good crossfire, which can lead to more kills. The last standard angle on A side is in heaven. The same smoke supply as before, and this angle is another good one when using op. The enemy tends to be looking towards ramp, so it gives you an advantage to catch them off guard. Moving to mid, these strats are important because with mid control, attackers have the choice to go wherever they want. Most of these become less relevant when there is a sage who can wall for you, but it is still important. Starting in vents or rope room, you can smoke off both angles from mid to force the enemy team to peek you if they want mid control. These are good smokes because if you choose a different angle every couple rounds, they have to peek without knowing where you are. If someone continues to peek mid with op, you can throw a molly down to damage them and make the pick easier later in that round. Just another note, you can use this same strat but peek from mailroom to get a better angle on sewers. Moving on to B site, the first place to peek is from B heaven. This is a good position because there are multiple different angles you can hold, which makes it harder for the enemy team to know where you are. This is also a great angle to peek for the attacker's initial push. You can smoke off B main, which can split up the enemy and make it easier to get kills. Lastly, if you feel aggressive, you can push straight through B main using the smoke to force the enemy to either wait or push. You can also put down a molly to make sure whoever pushes is separated from the rest of the team. In this clip you can see that the Raze waits till the smoke fades to make a push, but I've already taken control of that area, giving me the advantage. Moving to attacker side, Brim's abilities becomes more aggressive. They are used more often to take control of large areas and block off sightlines that give the defenders an advantage. They are also very useful to hold sites, but today we're just going to go over plays to take control of sites instead of holding them. We will start on B, which is a tough site to take since the main entrance is one narrow hallway. To give your team the best chance, you need to take away as many sightlines as possible, starting with heaven and anything to the right side of the entrance. In this clip you will see a sage wall already up, but I place my spoke in heaven to make sure nobody can pick me as I rush onto the site. This is what it looks like for the enemy. Moving to mid, as mentioned before, this is an important part of the map for attackers because it gives them the option to go to either site. Smoking off rope room and mail room ensures that the enemy will not have good cover if they want to engage you. If they choose to stay behind the smokes, it gives you the opportunity to take mid and be ready to take a site once the smokes go away. In this clip you can see the sage wait till the smoke drops, but I catch her in ropes, allowing me to get the pick. Lastly, on A site, smokes are important to make sure your team only has to focus on one main angle. If If you're trying to rush site, I would recommend smoking ramp in heaven, leaving screens to be the only angle off site that your team has to worry about. The last thing to talk about is Brimstone's ultimate. It can be really effective when placed properly. It is best to use his ult in small cubby-like areas with choke points to make it harder for the enemy team to escape. Here are a few places across the map it is good to use his ult. Also note, anytime you hear someone planting, you can predict where they are planting and try to waste time by getting them off plant or actually do damage and even get a kill. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed, please go over and follow my Twitch. Have a great day and see you soon.